elegant, refined, tasteful. All luxury car manufacturers like to claim their cars are the best. But this year, Lexus did the unthinkable. They decided to see if it could be proven with their flagship sedan, the LS 430. And after going head-to-head with such heavyweights as Mercedes, Infiniti, Audi, and BMW in blind independent tests, what did they find? The finest all-around luxury sedan, bar none, is a Lexus.
Hi, I'm Tommy Kendall. Those are some pretty bold claims about the new Lexus LS 430. Today we're in California's picturesque Newport Beach, and we're going to see how this car really measures up as we put it through its paces, on the track, through the mountains, and around town.
We'll also be talking with Gordon Wangers, president of AMCI, the nation's leading independent automotive testing firm, who just performed an incredibly long and in-depth testing protocol on the LS 430. And we'll also get the inside scoop on this car from Lexus product specialist, Andrew Franceschini.
To start, we're going to do something a little different, and we've asked a couple of friends to give us a hand. We're going to give this car a real road test with real people behind the wheel. Gerard and Melissa, you're going to take this beauty on a weekend getaway.
Sounds good.
Where are you going to go?
I was thinking we'd drive up the coast.
Well, I kind of wanted to go to the mountains.
What do you say, up to the mountains we go? So say goodbye, Newport Beach. That'd be good.
Well, wherever they go, it's bound to be an adventure. We'll catch up with them from time to time, but right now, I'm headed for the California Speedway. So don't go away. The Speed Channel Test Drive will be right back.
Welcome back to Speed Channel's test drive of the Lexus LS 430. We're at the renowned California Speedway where the big cars come to play, and it's no accident that we're here with the Lexus LS 430. I'm joined by Gordon Wangers, president of AMCI, the leading independent automotive testing firm in the United States. Gordon just turned this car inside out and upside down to see how it stacks up. And he told Lexus flat out, these tests would be blind and there was no guarantee they'd win. Now that sounds a little bit harsh to me, Gordon, but you're the expert. Tell us what you put this car through and why.
Well, Tom, you know, it should be harsh, it should be demanding, because you're dealing here with the best of the best cars in the world. And to try to determine which is the best of the best, it took 193 different tests, both static and dynamic, over 4,000 hours of time to determine a result.
The competition in this category is ferocious. What were the actual cars you tested the LS against?
We began with every luxury car sold in America, including the haloed Rolls-Royce and Bentley, among others, and through a very sophisticated criteria, narrowed it down to the finalists, which were the S600 from Mercedes-Benz, the flagship 12 cylinders, incredible automobile. From BMW, the 750iL, a phenomenal ultimate driving machine, also 12 cylinders with everything. From Infiniti, a new ground-up design, the Q45, which is meant to put Infiniti back in the fray in this marketplace. And finally, from Audi, the A8L. That is their Quattro super luxury sedan, not to mention, of course, the Lexus LS 430.
So Gordon, tell us how the testing was scored.
We set out to identify the finest overall luxury sedan, that key word being overall. Thus, it made great sense to use the Olympic scoring system, which finds an overall winner. Thus, you don't have to finish first in all the categories, but if you're consistently at or near the top across the board, you can win, and that's what happened with the LS 430.
Let's break down the different categories the car was tested in. Talk to us about the noise, vibration, and harshness testing.
Noise, vibration, and harshness covers, not surprisingly, quietness and smoothness. How quiet is the car inside, and how smooth is it? How much vibration or not do you feel while you're driving it? Now, this has been a hallmark of Lexus since its inception, so not surprisingly, Lexus did win that category, and in the interior sound test in decibels, it is by far the quietest car in the world, according to our instruments.
What about the luxury, comfort, and convenience category? Three things important to a luxury car buyer. How did the LS do?
To show how tough this test was, you think of the Lexus as having every bell and whistle, every option known to mankind, and while it does, it came in second.
What did you find in the ergonomics, roominess, and utility category?
That category measures the user-friendliness of the vehicle. How easy is it to operate and how comfortable it is and just how much space is there in the vehicle for people and stuff. Not surprisingly, again, the Lexus did very, very well winning that category because the engineers at Lexus have really focused on making things easy to operate. And some of these cars, while they have incredible array of features, trying to use them, especially while you're driving, can be a little challenging.
How did the LS stack up in the performance, active safety, and sportiness category?
The Lexus didn't win, but we were surprised that it came in second because you don't really think of Lexus as being fast and great handling, tear up a twisty road. But to everyone's surprise, especially in acceleration, the Lexus is a real runner, and it hauled in standing start acceleration, which gave it a lot of points, enabling it to come in a strong second.
How has Lexus affected the entire luxury car industry?
In a really significant way, because in the early 90s when the car first came out, you know, even among the great German cars, nobody thought about fit and finish, quality of materials, build quality, attention to detail. These were things that were not on the map. And overnight, the advent of the LS 400 in 1990 made those things important. And over the last decade, luxury car consumers now have learned, and they look very closely at how a car is constructed, how good the materials are. So it's really changed the world in the automotive industry.
Well, Lexus may have changed the luxury automotive world, but Gerard and Melissa are in a world of their own. Check it out.
Mojave Desert.
Woo! Welcome to Mojave Desert.
Yeah, darling.
So we made it out of the city. We're in Mojave Desert. We're heading towards Lone Pine and Mount Whitney.
If you think about it, if someone said, hey, take a 5-hour ride in this car, you're going to go, whoa, 5 hours, that's kind of rough. Everything in this car just spells comfort. The seat moves in every direction. The acceleration is really smooth. The steering is unbelievable. Everything in the car just makes it so easy to handle a drive like that and make it really pleasant. You feel like, with the exception of not having a television, it's like you're in your living room. It's wonderfully comfortable.
Wow, this is beautiful. Let's go hike Mount Whitney.
All right.
Keep your engine running. We're about to put the Lexus LS 430 to the ultimate test on the California Speedway when the Speed Channel test drive returns.
Welcome back to Speed Channel's test drive of the Lexus LS 430.
We've heard all about how good this car looks on paper, but I say there's no substitute for action. So, let's take her out on the track and see for ourselves. It is such a treat to take a luxury car like this off the highway and onto a super speedway with this kind of banking. This car may be a luxury car, but its acceleration is intoxicating. It's almost too tempting to dial up the speed. The ride, regardless of speed, is smooth as silk.
This car isn't, it's supposed to be a real street squirrel road rocket. It's not built for the racetrack, but it certainly accords itself well. It's well balanced. It's a lot of car. It's a big car, so you know you're in a good sized car, but it's very well behaved. The knock against Lexus sometimes is that their cars are too smooth, too refined. That's ludicrous to me because that's what you want. People are used to all this extra information coming that you don't need. I think their philosophy in which they've achieved is we want you to feel like you're in a very smooth, comfortable ride, but we don't want you to be isolated. So you get just the information you need and not anything more in terms of noise, vibration, and feedback coming through the seat, through the wheels, and so forth. And here we are going very, very smooth, 80, 90, 100 miles an hour. There's enough engine noise to let you know that that you feel something, but it doesn't. You don't have to raise your voice. There's no wind noise, and it's just a really, really nice, well-executed package. A lot of people have this idea that you need to have a car with a lot of harsh feedback and kickback and heavy steering to get feel. I don't agree with that, and I think Lexus, to their credit, has not bent to people. The steering is light like a luxury car should be, but it's still responsive. I think people are used to a lot of noise per se, vibration and so forth, coming back to them, and they think that's what they need. I think it's a matter of kind of retraining yourself. The Lexus guys have filtered all that out, and you get just the information you need. The suspension plays into all that, and that's really shock valving. That's where the magic of suspension is. It knocks the rough peaks of harshness off, and a lot of people mistake a rough riding car for one that's very well controlled. I have a different philosophy, and this holds in racing as well. I like a very compliant car, but one that's very controlled. Oftentimes, to get control, you need to bolt the car down. Here, it's controlled, but it still moves, and that's where the grip comes from. Cars these days, with the rate of technology, it's almost like an arms race. You want to be in the latest stuff, from the safety, the airbag system on this car, to the driver assist aids, to the engine efficiency, performance, and all that. It's just getting so much better so quickly, and this is a really, really good example of that.
Let's see how that technology holds together when we put it to the test on the new California Speedway road course.
The vehicle skid control does exactly what every racer aspires to do, which is make yourself a better driver. And it does things that you couldn't possibly do. It does so many different things at once. It changes the brake pressure to each wheel. And actually, one of the things it does is the brake assist. If you're in trouble, it will actually slow the car as fast as physically possible until you release the brake pedal. So that's the kind of thing that, even though you don't know it's helping you out, you might think you were a real hero. Oh, I really did a number on that one. That was all me. But now you've got a very, very capable co-pilot in all these technological aids, which make you a lot better than you could possibly be on your own.
There's a little imported action out at the track today, so I'm going to go do a few laps with these bad boys. Well, before I get into too much trouble out here, let's check in with Gerard and Melissa as they head into the mountains.
Next stop, Mammoth. This car is very quiet. You know, on the road, when you're accelerating, no loud engine noises. It's quiet.
It's the quietest car on the planet.
It's really nice when you're driving to hear the music, just music.
No trip is complete without some tunes.
With this in-dash CD player, you can put all 6 CDs in one single slot in the console, And the best part is that you don't have to wait for a rest stop and then rummage around in the trunk just to change the music in the car.
Leave the key in the ignition. The Speed Channel Test Drive will be right back.
We live in LA and it's so therapeutic to just leave the concrete behind and head into some of the most beautiful country in America.
We're back with Speed Channel Test Drive, and I'm at California Speedway with Lexus product specialist Andrew Franceschini. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you.
This car has beauty and brains. Tell us about the LS430's special features.
This third generation LS430 was designed not only to exceed the expectations of LS400 owners who are used to a Lexus level of refinement, but also to appeal to owners of competitive vehicles such as the Mercedes S-Class and BMW 7 Series. These are people who may be considering Lexus for the very first time.
The first step is getting them in the seats. Tell us about the seats themselves.
The LS430 features an ergonomically sculpted leather-trimmed driver's seat. And this seat has a 3-position, 24-function memory system that really molds it to your body. And it features an extendable lower thigh cushion to suit both long and short-legged drivers. It also has a 2-part lumbar support system so that your lower back is properly supported. And the optional climate control seats really provide an additional benefit, providing hot air and cool air so that on those hot summer days you don't have to stick to your seats anymore.
What about the sound system in this car?
Working with the standard in-dash 6-disc CD changer, the available 11-speaker, 240-watt Mark Levinson premium sound system is a major advance in mobile musical reproduction. The Mark Levinson engineers that created the system for the LS430 are the same ones that create $100,000 home systems.
Safety isn't just something you guys talk about. You live it at Lexus, don't you?
Yes, we do. And there's really 2 components when it comes to safety. The first is active safety, and this is helping the driver be in control of the vehicle as much as possible at all times. The second is passive safety. And an example of that in the LS430 is the supplemental restraint system and the front passenger airbag, which is designed to deploy in 2 progressive stages, depending on the severity of the impact. And this provides an appropriate level of occupant restraint performance. The LS430 also features seat-mounted side airbags and front and rear curtain airbags to provide additional protection in certain severe side impacts.
What has Lexus done here that you think the other manufacturers might take note of?
There's everything from rain-sensing windshield wipers to articulating air registers, which with sensors can detect if there's more sun on one side of the car, so it delivers more cooling air to that side, to our adaptive cruise control system, which is designed to maintain a set speed with the vehicle ahead of you. If that vehicle starts to slow down, your vehicle will slow down without you having to apply the brake pedal. And then when that vehicle then gets out of the way, the LS430 will speed back up to your preset speed.
What about the overall Lexus ownership experience?
The Lexus philosophy is at the heart of everything we do, from the way we build our vehicles to the way we treat our customers. The LS430 has truly raised the bar in terms of luxury, useful technology, and value in its segment.
Lexus set out to build the nation's top sedan, and the specs on the LS430 are definitely top-notch. But the real proof of the pudding, as they say, is in the driving. So let's rejoin Gerard and Melissa.
The back seats of this car have this really great built-in massager. So not only do you get to leave the city, Melissa can jump in the back seat and get a massage, plus she can adjust the music from there before she goes to sleep. We logged 380 miles in 5 hours through the surf, snow, desert, and mountains. It's time for a little R&R.
There's more Speed Channel Test Drive to come, so don't go away.
Well, for a while there, it looked like they weren't coming back. But Gerard and Melissa have finally made it back to Newport Beach, and from the pictures, looked like they had an amazing time. Overall impressions, what were you left with from the car?
They put a lot of thought into this car. I feel like I was in my living room. I just really didn't feel like it was.
It was kind of like you being in the living room, sleeping.
I was jealous seeing that footage of you guys going through the mountains. What were the impressions like when you were going through the twisty stuff?
When you think of driving a car that is this luxurious, you don't think it's maybe going to handle as well as you'd like in the mountains, but it was fun.
It made it fun for me. Usually I get car sick with your driving, so it must have handled well.
We know men hate to ask directions. Did that navigation system bail you out?
Yeah, I didn't even notice we got lost.
I mean, the car is very sophisticated. You're driving in the daytime, the screen is lit up brightly. As soon as the sun goes down, it's amazing, the screen color changes. Other things about the car that are just amazing are like the cruise control. When we were driving on these roads for hours, we were able to put on the cruise control, and it does amazing things that I've never seen before. When you get close to a car, it automatically slows you down and then resumes all on its own. I mean, it's like it's got a mind of its own.
Overall impressions, what was the one thing that stood out?
Luxury, comfort, the car is quiet. But I would say the thing is with this car that you just put it all together. When you take it individually, everything is wonderful, but when you wrap it all together, it's the most luxurious experience in driving I've ever had.
All road trips should be so luxurious. And if Lexus had their way, they would be.
12 years ago, Lexus was the upstart luxury brand. And as we've just seen and heard, they are now the standard bearer. The LS 430 is a beautifully engineered automobile with a roster of some of the most innovative luxury features in the industry. Lexus set out to find the finest luxury sedan in the